パームツリーの通りに住んでる金持ちのクソデブ。
Run down or you run track. Oh, that boy cat, hit the gat, make it go black. Leave that boy flat, all black, make the black block look.
If you're not caught up to the ending of the Black Lagoon anime, I highly encourage you to click off this video, as it does contain spoilers. The year is 2022. The college school year had just ended, and I was at my buddy's graduation party. Everyone's vibing, you know, the homies and I would just get to talking about stuff like CSGO skins or anime or whatever. And someone I barely know, you know, hung out with him before, he's a friend of the host. He starts talking about Black Lagoon. And everyone goes quiet and we're all listening to him. The way his eyes light up about the show when he's talking, how much comedy, action, and how it's like split into shorter arcs like Cowboy Bebop. Man, it was compelling. And I realized, shit, I have to give this a shot. I could see the passion, just how passionate bro was when he was describing how peak Black Lagoon was. So I immediately actually started Black Lagoon that summer. And let me tell you guys, this anime was peak. The complexities that each character had and the different dynamics that were playing out in the show were truly something special. So let me first set up the context. The world building in Black Lagoon is immaculate. Maybe it wasn't on the scale of something like One Piece or Star Wars, right? But it centers on a thought experiment of the author, Revy. Sorry if I mispronounced that. In this thought experiment, there's a fictional city called Roanapur in Thailand. It is like a hellhole where, you know, crime takes place, there's no laws, and super strong criminal organizations are in power. So that is just amazing. There's so much room for the exploration of different moral dilemmas and, you know, kind of ethical issues that take place in a setting like that. So let's get on to the characters. So Revy is one of the main characters of Black Lagoon. You know, aka Two Hands for her twin deagles that she shoots people with. She's captivating, you know, she's aggressive and she's got wit. Yet, I mean, she's actually one of the most dark characters in any anime, or even seinen manga for that matter. Also, Black Lagoon is a seinen, so it is very unfiltered. It's very dark. Shonen heads, this might not be your cup of tea. So I thought Revy was going to be my favorite character at first, due to her sort of imperfect character. You know, she had a very traumatizing childhood from a young age, where she was abused severely by her own family, to put it lightly. I don't want to get into that because I don't want to get canceled, but you know, she has to put up this strong front because of that trauma. It's kind of like a defense mechanism. And due to this defense mechanism, Revy's very outwardly nihilistic, as Revy was never someone who was protected by the world that told her what was right or wrong. You know, her own family was police. So this is why she really mocks Rock's idealism. Rock is another one of the main characters of the show, and says, you know, Revy says things like, there's no justice, no higher purpose, only survival and power. So, you know, Revy just never had control in the world as a child. So violence and killing is her only real way to maintain that control for survival. So, you know, outwardly, Revy she's strong, she's brutal, she's violent, but actually that's to really cover her own weaknesses. Alright, now let's move on to Rock. So I think if this were a comedy, Rock would be the straight man, at least at first. And the character dynamics between Rock and Revy, they play out super duper well. You know, it was a treat to watch. Rock's character development, though, is unreal. And by the end of the series, oh man, he's definitely my favorite character. You see this unhappy businessman who's taken for granted. He's stepped on. He's treated like trash by corporations. He's from Japan too. Um, Changing into someone new. I mean, Rock, he thought he was doing the right thing by working a business job. Like everyone tells you, go work a 9 to 5 or whatever. But after being taken hostage by the pirate crew of, Rock, or no, Revy, Benny, and Dutch, you see Rock develop from over time from being a pushover to a guy who can hold his own. I mean, this dude becomes a certified badass, keeping Revy in check, calling out her bullshit, negotiating with different military factions, and criminal as well. And Rock even masterminded the ending of Black Lagoon, not through brute force or fighting, but by calculated strategy. He chose timings, he picked up on tendencies, and he planned really accordingly through sheer intelligence paired with, so like gut instincts. So he was kind of gambling in a sense, but in a very calculated way. So similar to like playing chess or Pokemon Showdown, even Valorant. Unfortunately, though, like this ending wasn't super crystal clear, as is a lot of the writing in Black Lagoon, which is what makes it so great, man. I don't know about you guys, but I just love it when a story is morally ambiguous and up to interpretation, man. That just makes it so much more peak. So what I mean is, Rock, he won the chess game, right? He got the checkmate. But this didn't mean he was escaping Roanapur. What it actually meant to showcase was how, yeah, Rock was this polite businessman, right? As I stated earlier. But now he's like a criminal. He's a part of these guys in Roanapur. And it's not like he's leaving. He has like a pretty dark future after pulling that kind of heist. So in a weird twist, it's like, wait, should he have stayed with the 9 to 5? Because now he's part of this criminal organization. I mean, lives were lost here. Yeah, so instead of being that straight and narrow businessman, nice average guy, quote unquote, Rock has now become super cold and calculated strategist, like a criminal, and he's like manipulative, and he's now part of this crew, and he's changed so much, and he's becoming like Revy and the rest of Roanapur, kind of morally gray. And the crew acknowledges this change in him. And now let's get into Roberta's rampage. So additionally, Roberta's rampage that took place in the ending, it wasn't a victory by any means. I mean, it was tragic. Rock manipulating those factions, the U.S. military, Cuban rebels, Hotel Moscow. It led to so many lives being slaughtered by the hands of Roberta. And, I mean, this didn't help Roberta at all. I mean, she was injured. She was broken mentally completely. She lost her identity and she lost her humanity by becoming this sort of robotic tool of violence. And Roberta was, in her past, she was a guerrilla fighter who, she lost herself in that war and that fighting because at a certain point she didn't have a reason for why she was fighting. So she was just killing for no reason, essentially. So kind of plays into that plot of nihilism of Black Lagoon. But then her whole attempt at redemption as a person and to kind of gain back some of her human side was to become a maid for the Lovelaces, which, I mean, her ideal was, if I can protect the Lovelaces and care for them, then I'm human. I've got some humanity. I've got a reason. But this actually set her up for failure because all that repressed trauma and, PTSD from war, she never healed it. She never acknowledged it. She just shoved it down. So then when Diego Lovelace, the father of the family, is killed, her entire reason for redemption completely disintegrates, and then Roberta just goes off the rails on a vicious path of revenge. All that pent up, all that, war trauma comes out. And so I think the amazing thing, though, is after her complete rampage of destruction, the 12-year-old Garcia Lovelace still approaches Roberta with forgiveness and an unwavering loyalty, telling her, hey, you're still part of the family. Showing that even in the midst of destruction and terror, crime, chaos, etc., in Roanapur, that compassion still exists, and hey, redemption's still possible, not through violence or force, but by mercy and forgiveness. So yeah, that I'm super happy to be making this video, guys. I love Black Lagoon. It's one of the anime that I think about the most, if I'm being honest, and I'd love to rewatch it. But I'll be covering the Japan arc and Twins arc in separate videos too, most likely, as these were some peak arcs. To end the video, though, here's a quote from Black Lagoon's Japan arc.
I've heard it said that people are like dice. I think Jean-Paul Sartre said that. And like dice, we can throw ourselves in any direction. And that's why we're condemned to be free. Everyone's starting point is different, but no matter how small the choice, at the very least, you can still throw yourself. In the end, you can't blame fate. Your life is the result of the choices you make. Well...
So this quote emphasizes the agency and freedom we all have in life as individuals to choose our own path. We get to choose. We have free will. So if you find yourself unhappy with your circumstances, you don't have to stay there. You can always choose something better. Thank you for watching, guys.